And Becky, thanks so much. And Ashley, and I'll let you guys introduce the session here.
All right. Thank you, Sam. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for being here for our inaugural Lunch with the State Library. We consultants are forever trying to figure out new and different ways to make sure that you librarians are aware of the products and services that we provide. So I hope these bite-sized sessions will whet your appetite to learn more about all these programs. Today, we are starting with Ashley Matos from WhoFi to talk to you about the products that they offer to public libraries. The State Library has contracted with WhoFi to purchase access to these services. We are going to try to leave a little bit of time at the end for questions, but I think because of time limitations, it might be best to let Ashley just sort of tell you all about the services, and then you guys can follow up with her on an individual basis after it's over. I know she will give contact information, and you're always welcome to contact your district consultant as well. So sit back, enjoy your lunch, and find out more about wireless counting, a community calendar, and question sets from Ashley at WhoFi.
Hello. Well, thank you, Becky. I loved all your little jokes. Those were nice. Well, great. My name is Ashley Matos. I actually live in Oklahoma City. That's where WhoFi is headquartered. I've been with WhoFi for about a little over 3 years. I started in like the customer service realm, and I am now considered a partner advocate, which basically means I get to walk everybody through their customer journey from start to finish for WhoFi, and I get to listen to all of your guys' great ideas and your feedback and your thoughts about the product so that I can advocate for you guys in terms of what you're looking for and what you need from the product. So that's what I'm here for. Today I am representing WhoFi during this Lunch and Learn to talk to you guys about the different products that we provide to you guys. As Becky mentioned earlier, these are all considered free to your guys' libraries thanks to the contract with the state. So thank you guys so much. So you should all have a WhoFi.com account. If you cannot get into your WhoFi.com account, please let me know. Very simple, WhoFi.com, you get logged in and you can have access to your account. So WhoFi, big picture, we really help libraries maneuver that intersection space between data and stories. There are lots of data and statistics and reports and charts that you guys have to put together, get to put together. And these are just not always the most fun part of managing a library, and you guys know that. So here at WhoFi, we really take the burden out of these areas to allow you more time to spend doing the things that you enjoy, like helping out your community and helping out within the library space and out and about with everybody else. WhoFi really helps to identify the impact that your library is having on the community you serve through your different service offerings, while also promoting the services that the library offers to the community to increase awareness. Providing you information in a very easy to understand way that helps you guys make data influenced decisions at the library is really a goal of WhoFi. Aiding in director and board reports and aiding in advocacy efforts through presentation of your library data, that's everything that we are about. So that's big picture. A lot of libraries have let us know that they love WhoFi because everything is just centralized. You've got everything in your one WhoFi.com account. It's all in one place. And thanks to that, you can actually divide up some of the efforts that you have on your plate to some of your other staff members, thanks to the ability to add multiple users to your WhoFi.com account. So everybody can log in, grab the data when they need it, and you can divide up the tasks so that you're not doing everything. We want to reduce that burden for you guys. So we're also really big on storytelling. We have YouTube tutorials on our YouTube channel that really provide lots of examples of how you can be telling a story with the data. One of our WhoFi products is the Wi-Fi statistics that I know many of you guys are familiar with. The statistics are not just to get one number that answers a question on the state annual report. It really helps to tell a story about what's happening at your library. On one of the monthly reports, there is a section that we call the community impact section. And this section really tells about how many people and the percentage of your community that you are impacting just by providing free Wi-Fi to your community, and how long they stay on the Wi-Fi and how often they come back. And libraries use that to, one, assess the community impact like they couldn't be able to do before, and two, use it for advocacy. Lots of libraries use the data to advocate to either improve their Wi-Fi signal, to reach a broader area of the Wi-Fi signal within the library. And they'll also use it to advocate for making their outdoor spaces more hospitable. Lots of libraries offer their Wi-Fi outdoors. That way, during closed hours, they can provide Wi-Fi to the community, even when you're not there. So really, you are a 24/7 service, and that's great. And we want to aid in telling that story for your library about how often people come, when they come back, and your peak hours for the Wi-Fi. So libraries use that data to make influenced decision making when it comes to what you should do for the future in terms of improving your Wi-Fi for the community. So all in all, we help with advocacy for your library so that you can advocate for how important it is for your library to the community, all the services that you provide, and reporting on it as needed for the state library. So like I mentioned, our first product from WhoFi, the Wi-Fi statistics, lots of benefits to the Wi-Fi statistics. It automatically reports that question on the state annual report, the total number of wireless sessions you received during the year. We take care of all of that automatically for you guys. And this really highlights the impact that this offering is having on the community that you serve, so that you have real data and it's standardized so that you can compare apples to apples, all the different libraries together. And we provide you with all of the data necessary to really tell a story of the library's wireless usage. In some of the YouTube tutorials, you'll hear the story of how Wi-Fi statistics has evolved over time. Meaning we provided one number that we thought was really important, and then the libraries said, hey, I'd really like to learn more about this one number. Can you tell me more? So those tutorials are, I think they're really cool in getting to share that story. And then again, advocacy for improving your Wi-Fi signal or making your outsourced spaces more hospitable, increasing coverage, and also just providing the usefulness of your library to the city. Some libraries have made changes to their open hours because they learned that at the different time of the day, they were actually way more busy on their Wi-Fi. And some other libraries have chosen to have the Wi-Fi on 24/7 because they found that there was a need. So that's a few different benefits out of the Wi-Fi statistics. Looking at the comments. Our second, I'm glad you guys are enjoying WhoFi. Our second product out of the Wi-Fi statistics is the community calendar. The community calendar is an online product within your account. It is free, again, for everybody to use, and you do not have to have Wi-Fi statistics enabled in order to use community calendar. They are currently two separate feature sets within your WhoFi account. Community calendar really helps libraries manage their physical space resource. Community calendar is a way to report on the programs and the attendance of all of those programs and events that you hold within the library. It makes it very easy for you to add all of the statistics to community calendar. And for those who like to do a deeper dive in your statistics, you can see which programs are providing more attendance versus fewer. And you can also see further statistics over time about how your programs are improving, or if they're having the desired effect that you would like. Community calendar statistics also is pre-populated onto your state annual survey. Last I looked, I believe there was about 115 questions that we were able to pre-populate on the state annual survey. Or up to 115 questions on that programming section, because it asks all those different questions on age and site and the attendance and the program counts. because you're already inputting all that into Community Calendar, we are able to pre-populate all of that data into your state annual reports. So we're doing that for fiscal year 22 was our first year that we did that. Fiscal year 23, we're doing that again here this summer. And then for anybody who wants to start with Community Calendar for fiscal year 24, you can get that pre-populated as well. Community Calendar is also a centralized place for all of your programming staff that have a hand in programming. You can train your staff members to be able to just enter in the data into your WhoFi account, and then they are in charge of also entering the attendance. So that reduces your burden from having to go and hunt down the people who need to add the attendance. And we also turn your data into insights after the entry. There's lots of reporting programs that are provided through the Community Calendar. There's on-demand reports, and there's also downloadable reports that you can take to many of your board meetings. Yes, and yeah, you can pass off those technicals to another staff member and really just ease that off of your plate. And through the Community Calendar, lots of libraries told us that they loved the statistics keeping, and they really wanted the Community Calendar to be on their public-facing website. So now any library with a PLOW or a Concrete 5 website, well, there's two different versions. So anybody can get integrated, but for those libraries with a PLOW or a Concrete 5 website, we can actually integrate for you. All you have to do is email us and let us know, yes, I want to integrate the Community Calendar and it's free. We'll take care of everything for you. You just say yes. I'll have my contact at the state, Jerry, complete the integration for you. So you don't have to do anything else. For libraries that are not on a Concrete 5 or a PLOW website, we can just start that conversation, and whoever edits your website, I can very easily walk you through how to copy and paste the code to get onto your website. So lots of libraries really enjoy that online calendar. And then libraries promote the library events and the spaces to your community through social media links with the Community Calendar integration piece that opens you up to a few different opportunities to further reduce the burden and improve your impact on your community when it comes to programming. You can advertise your programming events on social media directly to your website. You can turn on registration for some of your programs, and they would be able to register for your programs through your website so that you can be more prepared for your events. And this coming fall, late summer, I was given permission to tease this. We do have another product coming out for managing your meeting rooms spaces. Libraries had let us know that they have meeting room spaces, and they really wanted, again, an all-in-one place centralized platform to be able to manage the meeting rooms. Community Calendar and the meeting rooms product will be able to talk to each other, meaning if you added a program in your WhoFi.com account on Community Calendar, you can assign a room to that program, and then it would block it off on that meeting room's schedule to prevent double booking. So lots of libraries are excited about that one, and I'm excited to get that into your guys' hands as well. Our last, I'm glad you guys are excited about that one. Our most recent product that we just launched July 1st was question sets. If you didn't see the webinars, I would highly encourage you to go see those webinars. You can go see them at Iowa Learns. I don't know how much longer you can go see them. Samantha will probably have an answer for that one. But question sets is another centralized reporting for all of your users. It provides you with access to the state annual reports 24/7. You have year-round access to the state annual reports. It is currently a tool for reporting on every other question on the state annual survey. In your WhoFi.com account, you'll see question sets on the far left as a dropdown, and you'll have a daily tracker, a monthly tracker, and an annual tracker for all of the question sets. Thank you, Samantha, for providing that link. And within question sets, you can answer all of the questions throughout the year. And ideally, at the end of the year, your question sets will aid you in having you'll be able to just transpose the numbers from question sets into your state annual survey as a one-to-one. And we are hoping that that will save significantly amount of time when it comes to answering all of those questions. So Thank you, Judy. I'm glad you thought that webinar was good. Question sets also reduces duplication of the data entry among lots of different spreadsheets. You can have, you can use the templates provided from the state library. You can also add your own questions to the question sets. And if you have additional statistics that you're keeping track locally or for your boards that are not necessarily on the state annual survey, you can add those within question sets so that you have it all in one place. You can also do reporting on any of the data elements that you add in question sets, yours or from the state. We provide you with the option to create board reports to take to any of your meetings, as well as on-demand graphs and charts that you can put into any PowerPoints or any other type of presentation. So question sets is brand new. Community calendar is relatively new, and Wi-Fi has been around for quite a long time. So overall, WhoFi really helps with being able to tell that story of what's going on between the data that you're collecting for the state or for local requirements, and you can use that for advocacy within your library. And we provide lots of really neat reporting tools to make that available. So I think that is a good overarching overview of WhoFi. Becky or Samantha, did you guys have anything else?
I just had a couple of things that I was sort of jotting down, and if people have questions, since we do have time, if anybody wants to put some questions up in the chat. But one of the things when you were talking about the wireless counting, as a consultant, I used to argue a lot of times with especially city folks. Librarians usually got it, but the city people who said nobody uses that, you know, why are we keeping it on at night? It's just creating problems, nobody's using it. And then we got them hooked up with WhoFi, and they started counting some of those, and they were amazed at the amount of people that were logging into their wireless systems, and they really did see the value of it. You know, maybe they weren't walking into the building, but it was still a service that the library was providing, and it has really opened a lot of eyes, I think. So that's been really good. The other thing that I don't think you talked about that I remember early on, I think it was Luke did some webinars for us, and he talked a lot about the protections that you guys have put in for privacy and security. None of that data is kept anywhere. So a patron walking into your library can feel very confident that their information is secure and not going to be used in any other way. Do you have any better insights than the way I just said that, Ashley?
Yeah, that's very correct. Thank you for pointing that out. Lots of libraries and their IT staff, in-house or outsourced, were real concerned about the kind of data that we were gathering. One of the common questions that I get was, are you like looking at like what I am seeing on my phone? Like, can you tell what I'm looking at? And no, we cannot. Libraries really just were looking for time statistics. When they came, when they left, how often they come back, how long they stayed at the Wi-Fi, when was the most popular that people were on the Wi-Fi. So we were able to provide them with those statistics, and everything is anonymized. You cannot take one piece of data from the Wi-Fi statistics and point it to a specific person. There is encryption and privacy, and that's all taken care of for you guys so that you don't have to worry about privacy being encroached.
Thanks. I knew that was a really big thing early on, and I think it does help sort of allay some fears maybe that librarians have.
Absolutely.
Let's see, community calendar. Oh, I posted this in chat. Scott and I were just looking at some of the data things, and I pulled up the instructions for the annual survey, and it was literally 7 pages of data that we are asking people to do. And what's so great about what you guys did is, you know, yeah, we're still collecting all that data, but it's so much easier to grab and put in there. And again, you know, I encourage anybody that's interested in that. I know it takes a little bit of time to set it up. You know, you've got to create the event and you know, gather the data in, you know, by the age groups and everything else, but man, it makes it so easy. And I know you mentioned something about all in one place, and I think that's so helpful too. If you've got a slightly larger staff, or you have different people who are doing young programming or teen programming or adult programming, they're all keeping their data in different places. And now there's that one place. And I don't remember if you've talked about this already, but there is a way to create accounts for other staff members, right? It's not just one person who has access. Do you want to talk about that?
That's correct. Yes. To be able to ease that burden and take that off of your plate and allow lots of staff members to be able to log into the account. If you're in your account on the left side under setup, there is an option for users. You can add as many additional users as you need for all of your programming staff to have their own login. And that is especially encouraged when it comes to use of the question sets feature. Simply because you can log who is answering what question, who changed what question to what answer, and that is very useful for question sets, but also, yes, community calendar. Anybody can log in, add their programs, add their attendance over time. That way you, the director, can have all of your answers whenever you need it. The libraries who were picking up community calendar very early on found lots of use of the repeating options. Libraries would go all the way back to July at the beginning of their fiscal year, and they would use the weekly or the monthly option. And that really speeds up being able to create all of those events. That way you only create it one time, and then it goes weekly for all 52 weeks in the year. That way you don't have to enter it in 52 different times. So those repeating options make it go a little bit faster when entering in data.
Yeah, that was really great. I remember when that came through. There were a couple of questions. It looks like Karen
Oh, yeah.
asked one that Erin answered. If you want to take a look at that and
Oh, yeah.
weigh in, and then Marilyn's got one a little bit later on.
Great. So thank you. Karen asked on community calendar, because it is now on our website, I add our board meetings and library closures. Are we able to do that? Yes, Karen, you are. With the pre-population, I've been getting this question a lot, so I hope this really clarifies it for you. Within your community calendar, you've got a type dropdown for in-person, virtual, combo, content recordings, passive programmings. The last option in that type dropdown is other. And any program or event on your calendar that is assigned to other, it's considered a non-program, meaning it won't be counted in any of your reports. So it won't be skewing any of your data, but it will still show on your community calendar and on your public-facing website. So yes, Erin's got that. Yes, you'll use other, and then yes, that's how you do that one. If you were to offer a how to use program on WhoFi, is that something that is possible? I am not sure what a how to use program is. Becky, do you know what that might be?
I
I
was
wasn't
wondering
sure
if,
either.
oh, this is
Go
where I was
Sam.
wondering if we might refer them to your awesome YouTube
Yeah,
channel, where I know you
yeah,
guys have tons of training up.
yeah.
Because like we've done a few different things, like our question sets one we just went through, and a couple other things, but that YouTube channel has tons of awesome step-by-step videos that are you guys are
Mhm,
always updating and keeping in date. So I worry about doing something like that for us because it just gets out of date kind of quickly. But if you watch
mm,
that YouTube channel and if things change, then that's a good place to go. Does that kind of answer your question,
hopefully.
Marilyn?
Hopefully. And if it doesn't, I have provided my email so you guys can ask me specifically any questions after this webinar. And then I've added the link to the YouTube channel because we did a redesign of all of our products back in January. Our tutorial videos were not up to date with like an exact one-to-one of the example that you'll see. So we actually just posted new tutorials that it's the same information, but you'll see that new redesign as applied.
I also think, I thought I saw a question come through. I couldn't find it back in the chat. Maybe Becky can keep me honest. And for those watching the recording, it's just youtube.com/@WhoFi. And I think if you put them WhoFi in the YouTube search, you'll find it. But
Yep.
I think that's also where I would refer someone who asked a question about like interpreting all the numbers that come in on that Wi-Fi report, because it can be a little overwhelming.
Yes, the Wi-Fi usage reports, there's a tutorial video on it. I'm looking at the channel over here. And it's just called Wi-Fi usage reports. And the latter half of that video will give you an exact step-by-step of how to interpret the Wi-Fi statistics on your trend summary, and even any of the on-demand reports that you find within your account. So you can use those as a reference to be able to tell a story of your data.
So cool. You guys, I have to tell you all, and a huge thank you to Ashley and Luke. You guys are the two that I have kind of worked with the most. But for the librarians out there, I know some of them have worked directly with you guys, but I have never worked with a company that has been so responsive in terms of listening to what it is their customers are saying, this doesn't work for me, or I'd like to see this, and actually doing something about it. I cannot say enough good things about you guys as a company, and literally, not even just library companies. I mean, we've all dealt with them, and they're slow and painful, and you never do get the upgrades that you're looking for, or you pay a huge amount for them. But even other companies, it's just been amazing, I think, working with you guys in the way that you do listen to customers and are constantly improving the products. I just really appreciate that.
Thank you, Becky. You're making me blush. We really take pride in the partnerships that we have. The products would not be useful if we didn't get feedback on them. We here at WhoFi, we don't use these products. We're not in the library world. So we really appreciate all of the feedback and ideas that you guys have, which is why we're so open to feedback. So email me any ideas, any improvements that you have, and they go on they go during our Monday team meetings. We talk about all the feedback that we get. So thank you, Becky. I appreciate that compliment.
That's nice to hear that you've got those regular meetings. Let's see what else. There was a question, and I don't think this is one necessarily for Ashley, unless you've maybe worked with Scott a little bit to know this, but somebody had asked a question about not using WhoFi to report on the annual survey because not everything was in. And it's my understanding from Scott that there are two questions for each one question. There are two pieces. One is, here's the data that's already pre-filled and uploaded that you guys put in from WhoFi. And then there's a second one that says, did you do other programming that was separate and different? And it will add those two together. So I can't remember who asked that question, but I hope that answers that question. I'm pretty sure I'm right about that one.
Yep, I've seen that before. You get like a from WhoFi and then not from WhoFi and then a total for every single question.
Yep. Yeah, so, I think that's part of the reason it's 7 pages, because it doubles, pretty much doubles everything.
Absolutely. And if that one person still has further questions about pre-population, just email me and we can chat.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Let's see if there was anything else before we wrap up here. Oh, I know. I just written down one when you were talking about the question sets. I was just blown away when I listened to all that, because I was library director for, I don't know, 25 years. And, by the end of it, I got really tired of trying to figure out how to, where to grab all the numbers from. And so I put together all my own spreadsheets and said, and tried to base it on the annual survey. And then things would change and I wouldn't have it. And I had data that I wanted to gather from other folks. And it was on my personal spreadsheet. So I just think this is going to be a great product for library directors. And I know we have heard from folks who went to that last webinar about how excited they are about that.
Yeah,
well, let's see. Oh, yay, Erin, that's wonderful that you set it all up and it was intuitive and user friendly. So that's
great.
That's really great.
Yay,
well,
thank you, Erin.
I have, Ashley, unless you've got something else that you would like to say beforehand, I have just a little conclusion for us here. Anything that you'd like to share?
I'd just like to reiterate that everybody has a WhoFi.com account. If you can't get into it, please let me know. All of the products we talked about today, except for meeting rooms, is available within your WhoFi.com account. It's all free, so feel free to contact me if you have any questions. Thank you, Becky.
Great, thanks. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to wrap this up now. Thanks, Ashley, for providing the great overview of the products that are available to Iowa Libraries from WhoFi. And for you librarians, we're really glad that you appreciate the fact that we at the State Library provide these to you at no charge, and that you really like those products that they provide. Again, they're a great company to work with, and I really believe they've come up with products to make your life easier. So now we do feel a little guilty that we took up your lunchtime. So to everybody out there, get up out of your chair, take a break, have a little dessert or a snack, or go take a walk and enjoy this beautiful weather. Thank you guys all for being here.
Thank you for having me, Becky. Thank you, guys.
Sorry, I couldn't find my unmute. Thank you, Ashley. It's always a pleasure. You have a great rest of your week.
Enjoy your day, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.